one time Emilou was shouting, "Help!" as often she did, and this time help meant, "I want to sit on a regular chair." One of the CNAs said, "Well, Emilou, you can't walk." She said, "Well, I'm just as agile as the rest of you." When you smile at me and take your hand in mine, let me be with you, makes me feel so fine. When you say my name and look me in the eye, my heart leaps inside, I feel I could fly. I could rise from this chair, I'll go anywhere, I can walk, let me try. It's in my mind's eye, help me up, I can stand. Well, I just need a hand and I'll prove I'm just as agile as anyone. As you, la da 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 da, 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 la da 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 da. Well, I've been sitting here feeling all alone until you came to me, made me feel at home. You are my best friend, don't you ever leave. When you're here with me, you make me believe. I can rise from this chair, I'll go anywhere, I can walk, let me try. It's in my mind's eye, help me up, I can stand. I just need a hand and I'll prove I'm just as agile as anyone. As you, la da 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 da, 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 la da 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 da. So one morning, I was heading to work and I arrived in the building and I was in a hurry. At least, you know, I was in that urgent mode. Everything's urgent. I got to get a zillion things done. I'm behind on whatever. I saw Emilou sitting there in the dining room, all perky, you know, and she saw me and she's excited to see me. And my first thought was, oh gosh, I don't really have time for you right now because I got all these urgent things. So I thought, okay, but there she is. She's waiting for me and she's ready to, you know, for my friend time with her. And so I thought, well, let's try to kill two birds with one stone. And so I took her wheelchair and I started kind of moving around and trying to, you know, zip around up and down the halls and get, you know, different things done that I could with her in her wheelchair. And while doing so, we were singing all of her favorite songs, you know, Hallelujah, I'm a bum, and, you know, Let Me Call You Sweetheart. And everything was going great. And I was rushing, but she was having a great time doing the things she loved. And in the spirit of camaraderie, she made an announcement. She said, "I want something good to drink." Now, I knew in that moment what something good meant was a Pepsi. And everybody knew that Emilou loved Pepsi. But she did not say the word Pepsi. So I said, "So would you like a glass of ice water, Emilou?" "No, I want something good to drink, whatever you give me." Now, here's the reason why I didn't want to get her a Pepsi. At that moment, for whatever reason, I don't get this, there's probably a reason if a nurse in here can tell me. But the reason was I would have to go to the charge nurse so that she could unlock the medical closet to get the Pepsi out of there, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know where the charge nurse was, and I didn't have time to be bothered with all of that. And Emilou had not yet said the word Pepsi, and she did say that she'd take whatever I gave her. So taking advantage of her dementia, I went over to the faucet and filled it up with a glass of ice with water. I then brought the glass of ice water with a straw over to Emilou as she's sitting there all perky and looking happy, and I bring the ice water up to her face. She takes a sip, and in 2 seconds, she just blasted me on the floor with that ice water. She starts backing up. She goes, "That's not something good to drink." And I was stunned. I had never had her act like this before. And she said, I said, "Well, what do you want, Emily?" She goes, "I want your nose. That's what I want." She said, "You were nice to me, and then they turned on me." And then I realized at that moment I'd become the scapegoat for everyone who'd ever dismissed her. And then I watched with my very own eyes a transformation in the wrong direction. This lady who had this beautiful countenance just moments before, head upright, great posture, and all of a sudden her head started to lower, and pretty soon she withdrew. She started withdrawing into herself. She looked like the stereotypical nursing home slumper. And she didn't even have the wherewithal or the stamina to do her usual help. It was, "Help. I want you to help me. I hurt." I just stood there helplessly because I knew that I did that to her. And then pretty soon she said something that just completely astounded me. She said, "I want you to find me." And it took me 2.5 hours to find her. It would have taken me 5 minutes to get her a Pepsi. I had to take her to her room. Well, someone brought Emilou out to the movers and shakers group, and my first thought was, "Oh gosh, this isn't the right time for her. She has a hard enough time really being able to fully participate in this group anyway." But they went ahead and parked her in this big circle, and all of a sudden Emilou makes an announcement. She says, "I'm thirsty." So I went up to her and I said, "Emilou, what would you like to drink?" She said, "I want a glass of ice water." I thought, seriously, oh my gosh. So I went over and got a glass of ice water for her. I bring it back to her a little bit with fear and trepidation. The straw, she takes a sip, and I'm waiting for the response, and she says, "I didn't get any on you, did I?" And then she took another sip, and she said, "I didn't hurt you, did I?" I was just flabbergasted. I thought, this is a lady that could forget my name within 2 minutes of a conversation. And in 2.5 hours, she had not forgotten the fact that there was a chasm in our relationship that we both were responsible for. And that was her way of rectifying the situation. Of course, it was all good. It was all good from that point on.